interesting article here from the Taiwan News. Says China prepping pretext for future attack on Taiwan, according to the foreign minister. So let's go ahead and get into this here. So it says, Foreign Minister Joseph Wu was cited by British media on Monday as saying that China is preparing a new pretext for its future attack on Taiwan. In an interview with The Guardian, Wu said that Taipei has reason to believe that Beijing is laying the groundwork for another pretext for practicing their future attack on the country. Wu added that communications between Taipei and Beijing could continue to deteriorate given that Chinese Chairman Xi Jinping cemented his third term with the purging of rival Chinese Communist officials, diminishing what few unofficial links had been left. So yes, certainly over the past few years, I would argue that, particularly since the DPP has been in charge at the national level, there's been a further deterioration of relations between China and the DPP, which is unfortunate because the DPP hasn't, both mainstream parties of Taiwan, the Democratic Progressive Party, that's seen as the Greens or the Green Aligned parties, and then you have the KMT, the Kuomintang, which is the Conservative Party that caucuses with other parties that's part of the blue sort of coalition. Neither party is willing to upend the status quo of the two Chinas. So you're not going to see either party pushing a constitutional revision to state that Taiwan is an independent country instead of recognizing itself as the republic, the true Republic of China, which ultimately has legitimate control over both Taiwan as well as mainland China. So constitutionally, that is what is argued. Now, in order to upend that, you would have to revise the Constitution to do so, which neither party is willing to do. So in that sense, China sort of increased aggression towards Taiwan is misguided, as the DPP is certainly more vocal about wanting to engage with allies that are sympathetic towards its increasing marginalization in the international community, but in terms of moving towards independence, it just hasn't, and it's not. Neither party is. So again, in that sense, the increased military aggressiveness and diplomatic tactics that China engages in is unwarranted. It's essentially China is attempting to do all that it can to entrap Taiwan to such an extent that it has no other option but to reunify with China. That seems to be the goal, both militarily and these increased military provocations economically, and increased sanctions on certain items from Taiwan, as well as diplomatically, putting incredible pressure on the countries, the very few countries that still do hold diplomatic relations with China, as well as attempting to block Taiwan's entrance or influence within international organizations. So that's the current reality. Now let's dive a bit more into what the article here says. So it says, Wu told the newspaper that the threat from the Chinese Liberation Army, the PLA, is getting more serious than ever as intrusions into Chinese warplanes in Taiwan's air defense identification zones have quintupled over the past 2 years. So that's incredibly serious. A record number of 18 nuclear-capable H-6 bombers penetrated Taiwan's air defense zone over a 24-hour period from Monday to Tuesday, and this was just this month, a week or so ago. He pointed out that in addition to provocative military maneuvers, China is ratcheting up a combination of pressures on Taiwan. Yes, and this includes economic coercion, cyber attacks, cognitive warfare, legal battles, and continued diplomatic campaigns to isolate Taiwan around the world. So yeah, again, as I was saying, China's using a multifaceted approach to strangle Taiwan, so to economically to restrict its ability to grow the economy. China is Taiwan's largest trade partner still, which is a huge threat to Taiwan's national security in a sense, and sort of attempts to coerce Taiwan by threatening economic sanctions and so on and so forth. So tactically uses economic coercion, cyber attacks, cognitive warfare in terms of attempting to do all that it can to scare the Taiwanese public in terms and to wanting the government to reduce its cognitive warfare, doing what it can to sort of scare the Taiwanese public into thinking that an attack on Taiwan is imminent, or that any actions that the Taiwanese government takes is illegitimate, so on and so forth, and legal battles, so on, so yeah, certainly I think that, as I was saying before, China has a multifaceted approach to dealing with Taiwan, and it is certainly problematic, as it has impacted Taiwan significantly, and this is one of the reasons why some of the strong allies that Taiwan does have, such as the United States and Taiwan and the European Union, is important that Taiwan maintains these close relationships as China continues to increase pressure on Taiwan to capitulate to its demands. Yeah, so let me know what you think about this story. If you want to stay updated on breaking news around the world, please consider liking and subscribing. Thank you.